This is the greatest mouse ever made. Actually, this is a modern fake. This is the greatest mouse ever made. Today we're going to take a deep dive in order to find out what makes this mouse so good, how well the fake measures up, and is the fake even legal? For those of you too young to remember, this is a Microsoft Intellimouse Optical. It would have been made sometime in the early 2000s and as such has amassed over 20 years worth of human slime. Later we'll find out just how disgusting this mouse is. Even in this sorry state, it wasn't easy to get hold of. Before we can evaluate if the fake is good, I need to explain why I love the Intellimouse Optical so much. It all started in the early 2000s. I was given an old unwanted Intel Celeron based PC. Somehow I ended up with the only Celeron 300A that wasn't a good overclocker, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, this system came with a mouse. A sleek 5-button optical mouse, made by Microsoft of all people. It was the first optical mouse I ever owned, and as soon as I used it, I knew it was the one. This is my hand. It's pretty big, with long gangly fingers. Lots of mice feel too small to be comfortable, but not the Intellimouse Optical, it just fits. The 5 buttons plus scroll wheel were great for gaming, and being an optical mouse meant I could finally stop washing my balls. Unlike its predecessors, the Intellimouse Optical is ambidextrous. I'm right-handed anyway, but for the 10% of left-handed people, this would have been a big deal. And the fact Microsoft managed to make it ambidextrous and the most comfortable mouse I've ever used is quite an achievement. Over time, my friends all upgraded to dedicated gaming mice like the Razer Boom Slang, but I stuck with my trusty Intellimouse. Did they have the technically superior hardware? Yes. But were they able to best me and my Intellimouse in LAN games of Counter-Strike? Also yes. That wasn't because of the mouse, I just wasn't very good. This wasn't the first Intellimouse. The line started in 1996, a time when Microsoft was mostly known for making crappy software.
Did you hear why they're using Windows 3000 as a prison guard?
No, why?
Because it always locks up.
While their software division was the subject of mainstream mockery, Microsoft's hardware division was pumping out hit after hit. The Intellimouse wasn't the first mouse with a scroll wheel. That honour goes to the Mouse Systems Pro Agio, also known as the Genius Easy Scroll, from 1993. However, the Intellimouse was the first mouse with a scroll wheel to sell in large numbers, partly due to its support in Windows. From then on, Microsoft iterated on the design. 1999 saw the introduction of the Intellimouse Explorer, the first optical mouse as we know them today. Optical mice had existed for a while, but used a different technology and required a special mousepad to work. Then in 2000 came this, their magnum opus, the Intellimouse Optical. Microsoft did release a few more variations afterwards, with the Wireless Explorer in 2001 and the Explorer 3.0 in 2006. Then there was an 11-year hiatus before coming back with 2017's Classic and 2019's Pro. That's the history lesson out of the way. Time to see if the fake mouse is any good. At a first glance they look identical, if you ignore the yellowed plastic of the vintage genuine one. Time to break out the old calibrated yellometer. And we've got rental house walls. Yeah, definitely got that Magnolia vibe. Not too bad for 25-year-old plastic. But once you look closer, you start to see some differences. Most notably the cable. The fake has a braided cable, which, while probably better in terms of longevity, is ugly as sin and looks totally out of place on this modestly styled mouse. The fake also has a massive ferrite. Look at this girthy boy compared to the genuine mouse. In fact, it's the biggest ferrite I've ever seen on a USB cable. It can't bode well for the quality of the electronics inside if it needs that much noise suppression. While the fake mouse may win in terms of ferrite girth, the original scores a victory in cable length. If you're interested in absolute measurements, here's a standard piece of string for reference. Back to the mice themselves. To the surprise of nobody, the fake one seems to have worse build quality, with its side buttons protruding from the rest of the body and panel gaps big enough to make a Tesla blush. Another place you can see the difference is the Microsoft logo. The quality of print on the fake is just awful. I'm also sure the colour of the silver bits is wrong on the fake mouse. They're too silver, too shiny. I'm confident the muted silvers of the genuine mouse isn't just due to them fading with age. And pictures of the Intellimouse from when they were new confirm my suspicions. The silver on the fake is totally wrong. Underneath is where the differences really become apparent. They're clearly not the same internally. The sensor is in a different place, and you can see differences in the circuit boards through the translucent base. Also, the fake mouse is predictably missing the Microsoft hologram and casting. They actually feel pretty similar in the hand, but we're not here for feelings, we want facts. Specifically measurements accurate to 1/100th of a millimetre and yeah, they're the same. Or close enough anyway. The genuine mouse is less than 1/2 a millimetre bigger in every dimension, which could just be down to the layer of filth on it. No doubt the fake mouse is either cast from the original moulds or made from a mould of an original. But how about weight? They both weigh 132 grams. That's suspicious. We'll come back to that later. One of my favourite features of the Intellimouse is its Fast and Furious style red underglow and the red light on the back. The fake looks brighter and has a more pink hue rather than the deep red of the original. Let's try it with the lights off. And I'm blind. That is way too bright. You can actually see the glow through the body plastics. Knowing that the mice are not the same electronically, I wonder how they compare in terms of sensor resolution. The genuine mouse has a sensor of 300 dots per inch, which was good for the time, although modern optical mouse can have 10 times that. So how does the modern fake stack up? $200 DPI. 200 for a mouse that was made in the last couple of years. Wow, that's bad. To hold and use, the fake mouse feels surprisingly good. The main buttons have the same satisfyingly positive click, and the scroll wheel has the same beautifully balanced detents. Just enough so it doesn't feel sloppy, but not so strong as to feel like it resists scrolling. The only letdown is the side buttons. On the genuine mouse they have the same excellent feel as the main buttons, whereas on the fake they feel mushy and indistinct, with way too much travel. Actually using the fake mouse is another story. The lower sensor resolution makes the mouse a sluggish chore to use, and while you can improve pointer speed by upping the sensitivity in software, that will reduce its already poor accuracy. I played through the first level of Quake with both mice, and while the genuine mouse was a joyful bridge between me and my boomstick, I was struggling to shoot anything with the fake mouse. Literally the worst gaming experience from any mouse I've ever used, and I've gamed on trackpads before. I noticed while using these that only the genuine mouse goes into a low power sleep state when it's not in use. Only the back glow is lit, and as soon as you move it, the main light comes on and you get the full underglow effect. Whereas the copy always burns with the power of 1,000 suns no matter what. As my power meter of questionable accuracy will attest, the power saving mode of the genuine mouse does actually make a difference. When you're not using the mouse, its power consumption is too low for this meter to even register. I've just spotted the fake mouse claims to be PS2 compatible. I have my doubts. As I suspected, no matter what it claims, this mouse is USB only. Well, that's the externals covered. Time to crack these suckers open. There it is, in all its glory. 25 years of human slime. I'm pretty sure this mouse wheel is a biohazard. And those hairs are disturbing. I was expecting to find some kind of weight in the fake mouse, as it seemed too much of a coincidence they both weighed 132 grams. It wouldn't be the first time cheap electronics have contained weights to give them more heft, resulting in a false sense of higher quality. But no, they really do both happen to be the same weight. Now we can see how different the circuitry is. The genuine mouse appears to have one IC to handle everything, most likely a chip custom designed by Microsoft, whereas the fake uses what appear to be two separate off-the-shelf chips, one for mouse inputs and one for the USB interface. Predictably, the genuine mouse uses high-quality Omron switches, But surprisingly, so does the fake, or at least it claims to. Looking closer, the printing on the fake mouse's switches look awful compared to the real ones, so chances are these switches are fake as well. Is anything on this mouse real? The plastics are of course pretty similar. In fact, the button sections look identical. The edges are a bit less defined on the fake, but that could just be down to the moulds being older and worn out. Where the genuine mouse says Microsoft, the fake instead says Microsoft. Microsoft? So, is this fake Intellimouse legal? Yes and no. Here in the UK, buying and owning counterfeit goods is not illegal, so I'm in the clear at least. Selling counterfeit goods is very much illegal though, which is why you can't buy these from UK sellers. They all come direct from China, just like this one did. This does mean I now can't sell it on without breaking the law. I'm stuck with it. To be honest, the fake Intellimouse isn't as bad as I thought it would be. But a mouse made in the last couple of years having such a low sensor resolution is inexcusable. I mean, this is the cheapest mouse Microsoft currently makes, and even it has an 800 dpi sensor. 200 dpi on a modern mouse is ridiculous. That combined with the terrible accuracy and the blinding pink light would put me off ever wanting to use this. The only reason I'd recommend one of these fakes over cleaning up an old genuine one is if you simply need something to look authentic, like a prop for a film or TV show set in the early 2000s. If you want a mouse to actually use, get a real one and spend a little time restoring it. I was going to choose secret option number 3, use the internals and silver parts from the original mouse, wrapped in the fresh white case of the copy. But now I'm having my doubts. The Microsoft logo is just so bad, and is it me, or is it too white? I'm sure that, like most PC things of the late 90s, the original was more beige than pure white. Also, the fit between the new and old plastics isn't right. I think I'm going to have a go at de-yellowing the original mouse instead. I don't want to risk ruining it with peroxide, so I'm going to try lightening the original case with nothing but the power of the sun. Considering I live in England, the sun brighting results are pretty good. Not factory fresh, but definitely less yellow and a lot more consistent. It looks great for its age. The main circuit board of the genuine mouse is supposed to be insulated from vibration with these rubber washers. But the years of not being kind to the washers caused them to wither away like my desire to leave the house, and now the circuit board rattles around. I think I can fix this using crap I have lying around, like these sticky pads. That's almost somewhat perfect. I really wanted to fix this, as the sensor is mounted to this PCB, so having it loose could cause inaccuracy. And finally, I picked up some new feet, so let's get those installed. With the new feet, the mouse is not smooth. That's disappointing, especially as I threw the old ones away. Oh no, wait, just noticed the feet have protective covers on. That's better. So there it is, the ultimate retro mouse, to go with my late 90s computer, and still working after all these years.